Dogs are endless sources of joy, and every owner wants to give their pup the best possible life. But there are some things you might be doing that break your dog's heart. While leaving your dog home alone every so often is unavoidable, it breaks their heart every time you walk out the door. Whether you're headed to work for the day or just making a quick trip to the grocery store, your pup might eye you forlornly as you slip on your shoes or whine and bark after you shut the door behind you. Dogs with separation anxiety can even exhibit destructive behaviors when left alone.
You know, traditionally the dog makes the mess and the human cleans it up.
The reason being left alone bothers your dog so much boils down to their inability to understand when you say, "I'll be back soon." Not understanding if or when you'll be home is scary to them. One way to overcome this is by following a consistent daily routine with regular meal and walk times. Training your dog to be left alone can also help their separation anxiety. Begin by establishing a safe space, like their favorite dog bed, and reward them for sitting in it quietly. Begin to step away from the bed and then out of the room for a few moments at a time, returning with a reward each time. Over the course of several training sessions, gradually extend the time and distance until your pup is comfortable being alone for long periods. Dogs look to their humans for leadership and safety. They also rely on their people for all of their basic needs: food, water, exercise, and the ability to go outside and use the bathroom. Failing to provide proper structure in your dog's life can make them feel insecure and can even cause chronic anxiety.
It's time to teach you some manners.
You're right. I'm going to learn manners from a guy who pees in my white porcelain drinking bowl.
Good structure for dogs begins with creating and sticking to a routine. Predictability lets them know what to expect and eliminates the uncertainty of when they'll next be able to eat or relieve themselves. While the right routine is different for every family, it should at least consist of established meal times, regularly scheduled walks, and a designated bedtime. Structure and routine also help your dog navigate each phase of life. For puppies, structure bolstered by positive reinforcement is the fastest way to teach rules, potty train successfully, and establish a bond with their family. Adult dogs with a solid routine are more likely to remain well-adjusted throughout major life events like moving, job changes, and family members entering or leaving the home. As your pup ages, structure can help to put them at ease should their vision, hearing, or overall health decline in their later years. Ignoring your dog while working from home all day is heartbreaking to them. Even though you're physically present, your pup will quickly grow frustrated if you brush off their attempts to communicate with you and neglect their needs. Nothing about watching you stare at your computer screen for hours on end can provide them with the exercise and mental stimulation they crave. Watching you work for 8 uninterrupted hours will bore your dog, and bored dogs are more prone to exhibiting unwanted behaviors like destroying things and peeing in the house. Over time, they may become depressed and lethargic. If you're working long days from your home office, try to schedule a break to spend time with your dog at least every couple of hours. A 20-minute walk or play session is not only enriching for your pup, it's also pivotal for your own physical and mental health. Taking these breaks at regular intervals can help set expectations and keep them calm while you're trying to focus. And if you have to be in meetings, puzzle games are a great tool to keep your dog busy. Your canine might not be able to say words, but that doesn't mean they aren't talking to you. Dogs communicate through body language that consists of subtle postures and movements, each of which carries its own meaning. If your dog wags their tail, licks their lips, or moves their ears, they're trying to tell you something, but it might not always be what you think.
Excuse me, you want to tell me why you're talking to me like that?
Many of the assumptions humans make about canine body language aren't entirely correct. A wagging tail, for example, might indicate excitement, but it can also mean your dog is nervous. It depends on the speed at which the tail is moving and which side it's on. According to research published in a 2007 issue of Current Biology, right side wagging indicates a positive emotion while movement towards the left suggests a more negative one. If your dog yawns, they may actually be letting you know they feel stressed. Lip licking can be a response to a tantalizing snack or anxiety. When entering new situations with your pup, keep a close eye on what they're doing with their eyes, ears, tongue, and tail, and respond accordingly. They'll feel more confident when you respect their boundaries and protect their comfort zone. Even though it can be frustrating when your dog wants to stop every few feet during a walk, experts urge pet parents to allow their pup at least one sniff walk per day. Exploring scents is mentally stimulating for dogs, whose senses of smell are somewhere between 1,000 and 10,000 times more powerful than ours. Think about your dog sniffing as them checking their social media accounts.
I don't sniff and tell.
Choose one walk per day during which your pup gets to decide where you go and how long you spend stopping to explore scents. you may want to consider a long leash to give them more freedom to roam. The ideal sniff walk session is around 20 to 30 minutes long, after which they should be tired enough for a nice long nap. Keeping your sniff walk routine at the same time each day, the first one in the morning or the last one at night, for example, can help keep your pup moving during their remaining walks, since they'll know they'll have the chance to stop at another time. Sniff walks can even alleviate anxiety in canines with reactive tendencies. In an interview with the American Kennel Club, certified dog trainer and vet tech Stacy Lemke explained, "If we can find a safe place where these dogs can let their guard down and explore using their noses, it can greatly reduce the amount of stress in their lives. They'll even get a mood-boosting dopamine hit as an added bonus." Faking throwing a ball or dangling treats and toys might feel like a game to you, but it can upset your dog. In a 2021 study from Scientific Reports, researchers found that dogs are able to tell the difference between a human intentionally keeping a treat from them and accidentally dropping one, concluding that they understand when they're being teased. And they might not be too happy about it. Pups who were teased often froze and stopped wagging their tails, both of which can be signs of stress.
Rubber? What kind of sick joke is this?
Additional evidence suggests dogs feel negatively towards people who tease them, at least in the moment. A second study tested dogs' preferences between humans who both intentionally and unintentionally kept treats away from them. The pups appeared to feel more negatively towards those who teased them, though they didn't hold on to the bias in later interactions with the same people. Be mindful to avoid teasing your pup by fake throwing or withholding toys. You may need to teach and remind younger children why these behaviors aren't okay. Staying away from teasing will allow your dog to feel more trust towards family members and pave the way for deeper bonds to form. Have you ever felt like your dog understands everything you tell them? You might not be entirely wrong, but it's not the words coming out of your mouth that they're picking up on.
Did you hear something?
No, did you?
Since dogs can't speak, they're more in tune to nonverbal communication, including body posture, facial expression, and tone of voice. Most of the time, your dog is actually deciphering your message by interpreting tiny gestures you might not even be aware of. According to canine MRI results shared in Science, your words may be nearly inconsequential in comparison to the tone of voice you use when saying them. Telling them they're a good dog or offering them a treat in a neutral tone isn't nearly as rewarding as giving them praise with a more positive tone. Likewise, shouting angry commands is likely to make them confused and upset. Every game of fetch has to come to an end, even if your dog doesn't want it to. Some pups are so obsessed with chasing the ball that they'll keep going to the point of exhaustion. Overexertion puts them at risk of heat stroke and dehydration. This is why it's important to stop games of fetch at an appropriate time, even if it breaks your dog's heart. A bit of clever training can make this easier. Each time you decide to finish a game of fetch, give a command such as "all done" to let them know the game is over. Be firm about not continuing to throw the ball past this point no matter how much your dog begs you to. After a few repetitions, they'll associate this command with the end of the game and learn that it's time to move on. Another tip to keep fetch-obsessed dogs in check is by only playing the game during one designated time in their daily routine. For example, you might reward your pup with 10 minutes of fetch as soon as you return home from work. This may alleviate anxiety by reassuring them that yes, they will play fetch again soon. Socializing your dog is an essential part of their development. Puppies who receive proper socialization are healthier, more confident, and less anxious than those who aren't exposed to other dogs and people. It is, however, possible to over-socialize them. Too much or the wrong type of social time can overstimulate and stress your dog. This is especially true of young puppies and dogs without much previous social training. When starting out, take things slow with one-on-one interactions in calm environments. Gradually expand your dog's exposure to new people, places, and experiences only when they seem ready. Be sure to positively reinforce each socialization session with praise and rewards. Whether your pup is meeting their first friend or a regular at the dog park, it's important to pay close attention to their body language for signs of overstimulation. Learn to read their behavioral cues and remove them from social situations they clearly aren't enjoying. Forcing them to stay in situations they find uncomfortable could cause them to become reactive. Given that dogs have extremely sensitive hearing, it makes sense that thunderstorms are one of their most common fears. Dealing with thunderstorm anxiety can be frustrating. Dogs with particularly strong phobias have been known to destroy entire rooms. and cause expensive damage. Unfortunately, there is no easy way to tell your pup they aren't in danger and have no reason to be afraid. Many dog owners resort to locking their pets in their crates during a thunderstorm in order to prevent them from acting out, but this isn't a great idea for several reasons. Dogs hate feeling trapped. Being stuck in a small space with no way out might only multiply their terror. Giving them access to their crate as a safe space is perfectly fine as long as the door is left open to give them the freedom to leave. Forcing them to stay in their crate while feeling traumatized may cause them to associate negative feelings toward it and resist going into it at all. There are many effective alternatives to help your dog ride out a scary storm. Soft music or a white noise machine can help dampen the loud thunderclaps coming from outside. Their favorite treat or bone may also provide a welcome distraction. Some owners swear by anxiety vests to help keep their pups calm during thunderstorms and other anxiety-inducing situations. Most importantly, simply being present in the room is the best reassurance you can give to let them know everything will be okay.